exactly.
It has one leg.
I think.
You'd have to stand in front of it and blow your ears out. Stand here,
I'm sure it is this one.
I want to be in the shade. I want to be in the shade this one.
Let me know when I'm on. Let's do it. I don't think it's on.
On. That's the.
Is it going to make?
On.
Yeah, I think we can.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to match day 4 of the 2017 Under-19 Men's Championships. About to take place is the second semi-final between Mexico and Trinidad and Tobago. We will commence proceedings with the national anthems of both games. Immediately after the anthems, please remain standing for a minute's silence.
Mexico.
We'll now start with the national anthem. Please be upstanding. National anthem for Mexico. Please remain standing for the national anthem of Trinidad and Tobago. Please remain standing for a minute's silence for Adrian Iannone, coach from Mexico, who sadly passed away the other day. On the referee's whistle, we will commence.
Keep it there.
Today's match has been officiated by referee Kat Rusher from the USA, supported by assistant referees Khalil Harrison from the USA and Kevin Morrell from Barbados.
Welcome everybody, this is Gavin McCleavey with Austin Willis at the Rugby Americas North in Vizcaya Park, Miramar. A moment's silence there for a Mexico coach that recently passed away.
Yeah, I'm excited for this game. I think it's going to be the game of the tournament. This is the Trinidad speed and their technical abilities in the passing game, and Mexico with their strong defense and clinical attack. I believe this game is going to be the game of the tournament, and the winner will advance to the Cup final. What do you expect here, Gavin?
This is, yeah, like you said, I think this is going to be a game of the tournament, other than maybe the final. Two very strong teams, both great in the forwards, but even better, both of them in the backs, and that's where the real entertainment's going to be today. Trinidad had a bit of the dropsies in their first game, in the first half, but they managed to figure it out. And once they started catching that ball and not dropping it on the floor, pretty much every time that happened, they scored by just throwing it around at the back. So it was beautiful to watch. Mexico, we've seen moments of genius, but not the same team that was here last year. But this might be a good opportunity to prove me wrong, and I hope they do, because that will make this a very good game. It's going to be very entertaining.
I expect the players of today's game, players of the game are going to be the fullback from Mexico, Rodrigo Alberto Ripoll Gonzalez. He was a star player in their first match against USA South's B side with that counter-attacking ability off the kicks. And I expect fly half for Trinidad, Jerron Panter, to be a star player for Trinidad today. He's been here for the last 3 years. He's still got one left, so he's going to be not only making his presence felt in this game, but for another year to come.
And there they go. They're off. Santiago Guadarrama Maya kicking off to Trinidad and Tobago.
So Trinidad made a scrum half replacement in the last game. They've got Ayub Hassan in at scrum half, replacing Romario Havidath. And Hassan played last year. I recognize him as I competed against him at scrum half in 2016. He's a small player, but while he is small, he's scrappy, and he's able to casually just move the ball around the park with ease.
So there was a big kick there. It caused a little bit of a problem for the 8-man of Mexico. Wasn't a particularly long kick, but the height on it, and in this bright sunshine, pretty much must have been in the number 8's face as it came down. So it caused them a bit of a problem, but they managed to kick for a line out. Mexico line out.
That was a strong kick from Mexico's fly half, Santiago Guadarrama Maya. He's been another star player for Mexico. He's been able to use his boot to move the ball around the park. Against USA South B, he was in control of the tactical kicking.
Mexico going for the front jumper successfully.
While Trinidad is somewhat skinny and smaller in size than Mexico, they have good tackling. We talked to their coach Jerome before the game, and he said that Trinidad practices against their men's national team and men's clubs in Trinidad, so they're used to larger teams than their own, and they should be able to have a good defensive advantage on Mexico's size.
Yeah, it's not common nowadays, and it's probably frowned upon in most unions, but it happened back in my day. That was normal. You know, you were 15, 16, 17. You play against the men. You're probably playing for. Most people were playing for a men's team by the time they were 16. So I think it bodes well for kids as they're growing to just be slightly out of their comfort zone. However, I know a lot of coaches and unions themselves are frown upon it, especially going from school to adulthood or even middle school to high school. That's a definite rule there within the USA at least.
I think it's that age range. You know, you kind of go from boyhood to man, and that's why you see a lot of these teams. You know, it's an under-19 tournament, but you could have a team that's 17 years old, like Turks and Caicos, across the board, just a younger team, and they're really kind of outclassed in the size department. But teams like this, Trinidad, you know, they're a younger squad too, but they're able to just come up and make hits.
Yep. Bit scrappy there on trying to clear that out.
That was Panther trying to get that clearance kick, but it was blocked down by a Mexico player. Panther was able to just return it with another boot, so it'll be a line out to Mexico on about the 5-yard line.
Good early pressure from Mexico, huh?
Yeah, we haven't seen many mauls this tournament, surprisingly, but we'll see if Mexico uses one here. I'm excited to see Malik Frazier, the captain for Trinidad. He's able to just dominate that line out with the height, so we'll see if he's able to make an error here, and he won't. Strong gang tackle from Panther and friends.
Oh, knock on from Mexico. Unfortunate. They were making good headway there.
Yeah, I was impressed with the tackling there by Trinidad. Mexico kind of went back and forth with their forward blast pods, and Trinidad was able to just gang tackle each time and get set back up in a defensive structure.
Yeah, their pods seem to be a bit spread as well, which makes them a bit more unpredictable, which I think has been missing from a lot of this competition. A lot of the pods that are getting set up might only be two guys, one stood in front of the other, so it's very obvious who it's going to, whereas Mexico seem to be playing with two pods intermingled, so you've got 4 or 5 guys stood there, and the scrum half or fly half can pick out his man that he wants to hit.
But here's the dangerous fullback from Mexico, Gonzalez. He was one of the players Trinidad said in the pregame warm-up they're going to watch out for.
Does have a tendency to run a little bit sideways, which just makes his own guys run out of space. If he keeps hold of it, it's fine, but when he passes it, he's usually passing it to a guy 2 yards away, and drift defense just covers that.
That was the captain, Frazier, taking the ball up. He looked a little like he wanted to maybe make a pass, but ended up getting wrapped up.
Panther.
That's going to be a knock. Unfortunate ball.
I think he was trying to, because he put a knee down, he was trying to put the ball down and get up again, and he just, as he tried to pick it up, he knocked it forward. But yeah, the rugby IQ's there, isn't it? You can see he's thinking about what every move he makes. He thinks about it a little bit quicker than everybody else.
Trinidad brought in a new coach this year. He's Michael Browner. He was talking to us about Panther, the fly half for Trinidad, in the warm-ups, and he said, we really want him to go into contact less because we want him to be able to, make the decisions on the outside and, set up the attack how Trinidad wants to play. So they'd rather him just pop it to somebody, let them go into contact so he can reset the attack.
Makes sense.
I think that's when they're at their best, is when Panther stays out of contact and is able to just move it around the park. Their continuity is something else. And you see them throw up points like 45 in their first game.
And Michael Brown, I might know what he's talking about because he was one of the first coaches that ever coached Johnny Sexton.
That's what I heard.
The Irish and British Lions number 10. So he might know what he's talking about in the fly half department.
Exactly. That's a great coverage tackle on a kick. Mexico's able to just put it behind the Trinidad defense and then come up kind of as a unit is what you want, as just one line, and stop any sort of sidestepping attack. That's just good coverage by the centers there for Mexico. So this will be our first look at what the backs can do for Mexico. I expect this ball to come straight out the line out for Mexico and go to into the centers. And I've noticed that Mexico puts their 8-man and their hookers, they put a little forwards in their back line off these lineouts because their 8-man is able to run through some people once he can get going. So here he goes.
Bit of space there if they can grab it.
Here's Guerrero. He's the captain for Mexico. He's been a star player for them for the last 3 years. So that's Trinidad not hesitating with their line speed. They're not coming up super fast, but they're coming up together so as to not leave holes.
Well, Mexico have been through 4 or 5 phases right here, and they've probably gone 2 yards.
Yep.
So that's a testament to Trinidad's organisation defensively. They're not rushing up. They're not hunting for the ball. They're just going up together, nice and slow, because they can break these guys down. The one time that the number 8 steps forward, the Mexican fullback sidesteps him and makes a couple of yards.
So back-to-back penalties against Trinidad. I'm expecting Mexico to go for posts here. We'll see if they decide to do that or try again. There's a Mexican player down, so maybe they'll take a couple seconds, let him get checked out by the trainer before they make a decision. And they're going to go for touch. So maybe Mexico wants to be a little aggressive here and try to punch one in early, because they're going to put that ball down on the 4-yard line. We haven't seen Trinidad really move deep into Mexico territory. Mexico's kind of been camped down here for the first 10 minutes of play thus far.
Mexico already asking for water.
Yeah, it was going to have a water break. This has been the hottest day so far. It's been steamy in the pre-games.
To give you an idea of the temperature, I'm not moving, and there's sweat dripping off my nose.
Yep, and we're in the shade.
And we're in the shade, and there's a breeze behind us. So, and these guys are running around with rugby jerseys on. We know how they get heavy.
So the story of the tournament so far, Gavin, I think has been the ability of the teams to retain possession and kind of tire out the other side, and eventually that ends up being wins for whatever side's able to just hold on to the ball the longest. And that's what we've seen out of Mexico for the first 10 minutes. So I'm going to have to give them the advantage in this first water break period, as they've been able to make Trinidad defend for a long period of time. And in this heat, it's tiring. So we'll see if Mexico's able to do that, and we'll see if Panter with his foot is able to clear some pressure out of here, maybe start attacking some, making Mexico defend.
Yeah, I'd have to agree that the easiest way most teams have been winning games is just keeping hold of the ball. If you've got the ball and you're taking it easy and you're finding the spaces slowly and you're not rushing into it, less chance the ball's on the ground, less chance it's going to be in the opponent's hand, and that's literally how everybody who's won games, they've won it by just having possession. There's very few teams that have been scoring on the counter-attack. I think I remember maybe 1 or 2 tries the whole tournament so far that I've seen on a counter-attack from a loose play. Those successful teams that are taking their time in attack are the ones that are winning.
So they're going to actually bring out a stretcher here for that downed Mexico player. Mexico's been unlucky with some injuries thus far. You talked to a couple in the warm-up.
Yeah, I interviewed 2 guys. There's 2 out of the 3 injured Mexican players. They came with 23 players in the first game. It was the first game against USA South second team, and 3 players quite heavily injured, out for the tournament. A couple of them even having to go after this tournament, will be going home for operations.
Yeah.
Back in Mexico. Yeah, some extreme stuff. I had a quick interview with them. You can check that interview on my Facebook, Gavin McLeavy. On Facebook, I did it live with a couple of guys. Youngin's looking a little bit wobbly on his feet there, trying to get on the stretcher. Not sure if it was a leg or a head injury. You can catch it.
Got a Trinidad player getting attended to right now. Probably nothing too bad, just maybe a little ding early. I'm sure these guys want to get going. The longer they sit around in this heat, it doesn't get any better. So
It's not going to get easier. Okay. Go around, grab. Go around.
I can hear you back in the hotel when I'm watching.
So unfortunately, it looks like another Mexican player injured. Hopefully it's not too serious, and they can, because right now they're already down to 20 players. From the 23 squad that they brought, they lost 3. With this kid, that would mean they're down to 19 players going in towards the end of the week. So fingers crossed he's going to be all right.
So Mexico's brought on number 17, Fernando Gutierrez Luna. That one's not too hard.
No, mate, I'm very impressed with the increase in your Spanish quality. Is
Purely
impressive.
confidence. Purely a confidence thing.
Just go at it. Let
Yeah.
it come off the tongue.
I've been really impressed with the number 8 for Mexico so far. You know, he's a strong runner, but I like it when he gets going. That's why they put him in the lineup. Once he gets that speed under him, once he gets up to full speed, he's almost impossible to bring down. I've been pretty impressed with his trucking ability thus far.
There's a bit of space there out wide, but Mexico winger knocked it on.
So we just saw the winger for Trinidad make a good tackle to force a turnover on a knock-on. That's Isaac Small, and he shouts his team's motto, "One team, one dream." I'm sorry, that was Isaiah Small, his brother. One of the Small brothers is on one wing, and the other Small brother's at center, so we like to see that and see if small to small combo can lead to a try in this game, as it had in the last.
But there's got some wheels on them, mate. Panto, good thump of a kick. Straight out by the looks of it.
He's so technically sound. It just looks like every action, every kick, every dummy, every pass just looks so crisp. You can tell he's just a clinical player. And we saw his older brother last year at fly half, and it was a kind of another one of those brother-brother combos. His brother at 10 and him at 13, and their dad's the coach, and they just looked so good last year. That's why they went up by 12 points on us, USA South last year, and a little bit of conditioning was able to win that game for us. But they were a strong duo. Also had the opportunity to play against the brothers in Barbados. So those brothers get to come around and make some plays all over the world. It's going to be another knock on. So that is jitters. We talked to Michael Browner, the assistant coach for Trinidad, and he said, yeah, we just have the ability to pass well, but in the opening first half, they're going to be the jitters that get us. And he's right here so far. I want to see Trinidad get out of this half and get on the attack, but handling errors has stunted this.
They look good once the forwards get settled, then the backs can get the ball in hand. The backs are going to drop it a few times. Do it early, get it out of your system, and then you can play the game, you know, or play at least your style of game. But you've got to get rid of those jitters early. So I think sharing the wealth in terms of the ball, move it around, and then they'll be good to go. And the Trinidad just gets stronger as games go on.
Mexico hasn't had the ability to get the ball all the way to their backs and their star runner, Franco Andres Guerrero. But they have the weak side stacked here with their two centers, Falcon and Guerrero. That's going to be a penalty to Mexico here. I expect posts, and they will. So we're going to see the fly half, Santiago Guadarrama Maya, take a shot at the post here and take maybe an early 3-0 lead. They had a chance to do that earlier, but they elected to go to touch.
I feel like these two teams are still trying to feel each other out. We've gone just past maybe 12 minutes in the game.
This is kind of the opposite of what Trinidad wanted to do in their first game. The first game it started out against Turks and Caicos. Trinidad was just a constant pace, constantly moving the ball all around the field. And so now they've kind of been stuck in their own end playing defense. It's kind of opposite of what Trinidad wants to do.
But they don't look uncomfortable doing it. That's a good sign. Nice kick. It's good.
3-0 to Mexico here early.
So a good amount of pressure from Mexico finally yields some points for them. 3-0 doesn't sound like a lot, but Against Trinidad, it's not going to be easy for them today, so they're going to need to be clinical and going to need to be disciplined on both sides. It might be a tight game this today.
This has probably been the most fans we've seen in total so far. Trinidad travels well. And that was Frazier, the captain, able to climb the ladder and go up and grab the ball. He was a star player for them in the first game. He's able to just go up there and grab it off the kickoff. That's a big play.
He's got some serious height to him.
That was Corey Edwards, the winger, able to grab the ball and make a few guys miss before getting pulled down. That's going to be a penalty coming from the side on Mexico. So maybe Panther goes to post here. Yeah, he's going to decide to kick this one, maybe tie it up. I think he's going to slot this one pretty nicely here. He's got a good boot behind him. We might have a tie ball game. So that's just an impact play from Frazier off the kickoff. The captain goes up, grabs that ball, and now it leads to 3 points.
It's a relatively easy distance for Panther, similar to what the Mexican kick, successful kick, just was. Solid.
Slotted.
On Team One Dream.
So just like that, the momentum kind of flips. And it's going to be a kickoff to Trinidad.
That's 3-3. And like I said, these guys are still feeling each other out. It's early in the game. Still 20 minutes to go in this half. Ball boy Cooper turning on the speed. Good lad.
The jet.
A little bit deeper on this kick. Good communication from Trinidad.
That was kind of a smart kickoff by Mexico. They want to make Trinidad work, so they're going to put that ball deep and make Trinidad drive the length of the field if they want to try.
Mexico not committing too many at the ruck, if you notice. The second ruck, they did commit one and commit two and got stuck on the wrong side, didn't roll away quick enough for the referee.
Panther's going to be able to flip the field here on this kick. We'll see if he can find touch. Last thing you want to do against Mexico is let the ball stay in bounds and get to their danger man, the fullback, Gonzalez.
And he's done exactly that.
Exactly what I said. But here comes the fullback Gonzalez with the up and under.
Oh, it's gone backwards. And blocked by Mexico. Small's under pressure here. And he's placed it down behind his own line.
Smart play.
Yeah.
Smart play under pressure. It's going to be a scrum to Mexico as it was taken in by Small, but you never know what happens there on a handling error. That might be a try for Mexico. So pretty smart play by Small, the outside center.
Yeah, if he'd have caught it behind that line, it'd been a 22 dropout, but because he actually carried it past the line and placed it down, that makes it a scrum to Mexico. Good tactical work from both teams. Both teams obviously well drilled, well educated in the game.
Mexico's got a kind of staggered attack setup here. Not exactly sure what we're to look for. Maybe an 8-man pick, and there it is. 2 for 2 on those predictions so far.
You're doing well, mate. Go put the lottery on. Go 50-50 with you. Drift defense seems to be working. Great knock-on pass.
A big hit from Trinidad, but both players are down on the field. We'll try to get a number for you here. That Gonzalez was the fullback that got hit, but play continues, and Panther's got a break down the sideline. He won't be caught. He's got some speed, man.
13's giving it a good go, though.
And that's a try We got 2 players down, but Jaron Panther's able to put a sidestep, and that's going to be one of the tries of the tournament. He goes about 70-plus yards off that first sidestep to take the 8-3 lead. That's number 14, Isaac Small, down on the field after a big hit on Gonzalez.
Spectacular rugby.
Exactly.
I mean, he saw him come out. The Mexican fullback saw the rush tackler coming out and just scooped the ball onto his winger unsuccessfully. But just as he did that, came barreling in, took him straight off his feet. Not quite a wrap, so surprised he didn't get in a little bit of trouble. But the play flowed, and Panther must have gone all of 80 yards. And there may be a couple of lads on the Mexican team that could have caught him if they'd have started closer.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, he got himself a 20-yard head start. How's that for entertaining rugby, folks?
That's something I've noticed out of Trinidad. They're able to just play end to end. Really, they've gotten back into their own territory several times in this tournament, but able to just pick it right up and go all the way down the field. That time it was on one solo run. They're able to do that with the continuity of their attack against Turks and Caicos. Miss it. So Gonzalez, the fullback and danger man for Mexico, is now limping around the park. He's going to try to play on, but the trainer's going to try to talk him out of it. And
No, he's done. He's trying. The trainer got close to him,
he tried to run away.
and he tried to run away and convince his trainer, but he just broke down. He's done. He's going to have to go.
He got popped before that try. He doesn't want to go off, but I think he might have to here.
Yeah. When you've got a dead leg, or what do you call it here, a Charlie horse?
Charlie horse.
If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. It's just nothing going to make it happen. A couple of days rest, that's all you're going to be able to do.
And this is an international tournament playing international rules, so once he goes off, he won't be able to come back on. And that might actually give a little momentum to Trinidad, as in the pregame warm-ups they said they wanted to try to keep the ball away from that danger man Gonzalez, and there he goes out of the game. So this is going to put Mexico at a slight disadvantage from their original side, especially after how many injuries they've had already.
Nice bounce for Mexico. They'll play on, it went back. There's a bit of width.
Guerrero with that filthy sidestep.
It's nice, isn't it?
They've got the 8-man on the wing here, and they decided to go the other way. He's ready to barrel through some people with a head of steam. They can just get it to him, but they're going to go away from him here. A nice tackle by Small again, the winger. He just went down, and now he's back up to put on some more hits.
Trinidad is sliding across very quickly, very smoothly in defense. So they're not just an attacking team, they can defend too.
There's the other Small brother coming up and make a hit. They're all over the field, like you said. Solo tackles has been the story for Trinidad so far. And a steal, clean steal from Garrett. Here goes Small.
And there they go. Once they string the passes together,
he won't be caught. No chance. That's a try to Trinidad again in that same corner.
and it looks like Trinidad have managed to open up Mexico. They've figured out what it is, 2 or 3 passes out from the middle channel, and they're good around the outside. They were just on the inside of the 15-yard line, 15 and 40, couple of little crash balls. They're called a black ball, which I'm presuming is to go to Panther 10. I heard some of the teammates call black ball. 2 or 3 forwards got out of the way, which means maybe they're going to use their back line.
That was Isaiah Small of the Small brothers. Isaac made a tackle on one side, Isaiah makes a tackle on the other, and then Isaiah finds himself on the other side of the field streaking down for another 60-plus yard try.
It's going to have to be a hell of a kick from the touch line.
Yeah, we saw him miss his own conversion here a few minutes ago.
A little bit of a breeze picked up that you can see on the camera. The Trinidad and Tobago flags are waving over there. So there's a little bit of a breeze against the kicker.
So we'll see what kind of resilience Mexico has, down by 10 early. A lot of time left in this first half to tie it up, but the pressure has certainly been pushed by Trinidad.
So 13-3 to Trinidad. Slowly beginning to open up the Mexican team. I'm sure the team of Harvard Caribs, Northerns, Rainbow, Riders and Royalians over in Trinidad and Tobago are watching the game and enjoying themselves.
Oh, yeah.
Some of the club teams in Trinidad that have supplied players for this Trinidad and Tobago team, which I believe are going to be quite successful in this tournament.
It's going to be a knock-on. Mexico's going to get a chance to equalize it. They're going to get a scrum to Mexico just outside of the 22. So we got a new fullback in for Mexico as Gonzalez had to leave the game with an injury. I'll try to get a number for you when I can see it. Free kick to Mexico. That's foul play. They're going to back it up 10 yards. Trinidad was trying to slow them down a little bit and passed it behind them, maybe to give their team a break to back up, but the referee saw foul play and is going to back them up 10 yards. Mexico's going to elect a free kick. That 8-man with steam and a big truck stick from the 8-man, Esteban Santiago Viñas Caballero. This is his second or third year in the tournament. I recognize him, the big 8-man. I believe he was playing prop last year, and now they moved him back to 8.
Yeah, the fly half number 10 there was just looking for an inside ball, but a little bit of miscommunication with his 12. The cracks are beginning to show in Mexico, unfortunately.
I'm surprised Mexico didn't elect to go to post there. We usually see them be a little bit more tactical, but they've been aggressive in this first half. They've had two penalties inside the 22 that they've elected to just go ahead with instead of going to post.
Yeah, I think they realised that Trinidad and Tobago are going to run out and score points. They're going to want to score tries, and Mexico figure there's no point in trying to scrape around for 3 points. We're going to have to score tries and compete.
Nice boot to the center of the field. And that is number 23, their replacement fullback.
Good work.
David Navarrete. Mexico is going to get the high tackle penalty. You could hear the Mexico fans plead their case, and they got it. So fly half Santiago Guadarrama Maya is going to go to touch, and they're going to have the ball at about the 20-yard line here, 20-meter line, as you foreigners say it.
Funny talkers.
Sir. The Mexico fans are willing them on with their Mexico chant. We're gonna cool it off a little bit. I think that breeze is coming through.
Yeah, it's getting there. We've got a little bit of cloud cover coming over as well, which is absolutely welcome.
So Trinidad steals the line out, but they get another penalty to Mexico. That might have been not releasing. Couldn't exactly see the call from this side of the park. Mexico's gonna go to touch here again. They're gonna have the line out about the 10. Maybe a little more, 15-meter line.
Por la gente de México, estamos aquí en Vizcaya Park, Miramar, Florida. Ahora mismo México está perdiendo contra Trinidad y Tobago, 13-3. Jugando muy bien los chicos, pero no puede marcar un try todavía.
Here's the 8-man bouldering his way through. That's Guerrero. He's got some speed. The captain, Franco Andres Guerrero. This is his 3rd year in tournament.
Trinidad and Tobago covering well from one side to the other.
Oh, and then that's going to be a knock-on on Mexico.
It always comes back to that pressure. I've noticed that if Mexico are throwing the ball out wide, the winger will rush forward, and his inside and outside centre will cover across the back of him to cover the wing that he may be leaving alone. So if that quick pass does go out, it's forced, so the ball may go to ground. If it isn't forced and they get it there, you've got your inside centre and outside centre covering across the back of the wing, which is it's interesting. I haven't seen that in such a young age group. I see it at higher level rugby, but I haven't seen it here for a while.
That blitz and cover defense. It's worked well. It's caused turnovers every time Mexico breaks the line.
Maybe 4 or 5 times down in that corner, at least on the left wing of Trinidad. Collapse on this side, and they're going to give the penalty to Trinidad.
So maybe what Mexico needs to do to counter that is get that inside center doming like he's going to go wide and go back into a runner on the
And that way
inside.
maybe you've got your wing inside, outside, all rushing out to the wing.
So we'll see what Mexico can do at halftime. It's going to be, we have about 5 minutes left in this first half. The Mexican team has been tacticians in the past. They've been able to make good adjustments in order to beat some teams in the past, so we'll see what they can do. We also saw them score late to take the lead against the USA South second side in their first game of the tournament. So I don't think while they are down, I don't think they've counted themselves out in the first half thus far.
Phenomenal maul from Trinidad and Tobago. Got some serious yards on them.
They've been one of the only teams to put that maul together well in this tournament.
I didn't catch what the referee pulled the Trinidad team for during that maul. So it looks like Mexico put in at the scrum.
In the last few years, since I've been here, we've seen the maul be used a lot, but I understand why it kind of goes away. These teams don't have much time to practice together, and the maul is such a technically sound aspect of rugby that maybe teams feel they're better off working at something else than taking the time and setting up that maul.
And I imagine, from what I've seen around here at least, all of these countries that we're talking about are all countries where the weather's usually pretty good. The people are generally quite fast people. You know, you get the Caribbean island kids, even this Mexican team is very quick. The USA guys are all quite quick too. They're all very athletic. And generally the weather's good in all of these places. And when you find good weather, generally you find fast teams. So mauling is something that you would kind of associate with the Northern Hemisphere European teams.
That was a line break from number 11 for Mexico, Ricardo Encira Navarro. And he gets ankle tapped by Pantor, fly half from Trinidad. And it's going to be a holding on penalty. So a great trail tackle from Pantor.
Yeah, Mexico looked threatening for a second or two there, and they broke the line, got through. There wasn't much left to do. They were only about 10, 15 yards out.
So Panter's going to have a breeze in his face. So we'll see if he can get this ball into touch from the middle of the park.
It's going to have to be a good kick. That's not
It
gone.
won't. It's going to stay in bounds, but a good bounce. I want to see Trinidad settle down their attack a little bit, get their handling right, and drive down this field. Again, we haven't really seen Trinidad drive down deep into Mexico's half. Both their tries have been 60, 70 plus meters. And it's going to be another turnover, so Trinidad's attack is going to be stopped.
Yeah, I've noticed if Trinidad start playing the forwards game, they tend to lose control of the ball a little easier. I think they might be better off just using Panto to kick for territory, and then play it wide and open freely from sort of the halfway line. Seems to be more successful.
Right.
Their forwards aren't bad, but they tend to be a little bit ill-disciplined.
Yeah. They're going to reset the scrum here. Yeah, the forwards for Mexico definitely have a size advantage over Trinidad. Once Trinidad gets going, though, their continuity and their ability to recycle the ball, kind of move back and forth along the park is what has been their strength so far in this tournament. But this game, Mexico's defense hasn't really let them get their continuity going, and so there's long strikes. That's going to be a penalty against the scrum half for Trinidad.
Yeah, he just went beyond his line there.
So Trinidad's going to have about 30 seconds, maybe a minute, to put a try here on the board in this first half. It's going to be a scrum half pick and go. This is a new scrum half from last year. It takes more than one guy to bring down that 8-man for Mexico's Esteban Santiago Viñas Caballero.
Yeah, the Trinidad on the edge of the ruck. They're not stupid. They're not gonna try and go high on the big guys, the big Mexican forwards. They're chopping them down, but it takes 2 or 3 of them, unfortunately.
This might be the last chance of attack in this first half for Mexico to get on the board, and we'll see if they can here. They've got a man advantage on the outside. A good coverage defense from Trinidad. And it's going to be a knock on. And that's going to be the half.
Same thing as earlier on. Went to ground, felt like he wasn't being controlled on the ground, and just tried to get open. As he grabbed the ball again, he knocked it on.
Trinidad's defense has been very impressive. Like we said in the warm-ups, they've been undersized in all these games, but their ability to just come up, make the tackle, or send a blitzer up to make the tackle and cover on that outside has been exquisite.
They have a very clear idea of what it is that they want to do defensively. So we kind of have given them kudos so far in this competition in attack, but their defense has proven extremely disciplined. A very impressive performance so far against a strong Mexican team. We've got to remember these Mexican team were in the final last year. past me, I'll try and set this way. That's good. Because I know. You do that and I'll... No, constantly mic. Yeah, I wouldn't be able to. I'd have to speak and press buttons.
I feel like I'm not smart enough to censor myself.
I tend to look up at Chris and give him that a lot. Nice. Can I shout at anybody? But I know we have the option of microphone too. I just prefer this because that's what I've always done. Yeah. And I feel uncomfortable having like yeah, I'm good. Yeah, really good. All right, guys, welcome back to the second half. About to start with Trinidad and Tobago on your right-hand side of your screen in red and black against Mexico on the left of your screen, and their shirt looks like the Mexican flag. And as you can see, Trinidad and Tobago are up for this second half. They're winning 13-3 right now. A couple of great tries in the first half from Trinidad. It was tight the first 20 minutes, just 3-3, 2 penalty kicks early in the game.
Yeah, we've seen Mexico camped out in their own end trying to score, but you know, they've been costly in the penalty department, and Trinidad's been able to score on long tries in the first half.
A great jump. That's the second time we've seen Fraser take the ball at the kickoff, but unfortunately held on the ball a little too long while he was down there waiting for his spot.
Fraser's been a star this tournament so far. Real tall, long lock for Trinidad.
Motivates his boys well and all. So you'll get a great view of the line out right in front of the camera here.
So far we've seen Fraser, the lock in the front of the line out, so now they're gonna, looks like they're gonna move him more to the middle as Mexico has been throwing the middle ball well.
They tend to get their jumper up pretty high and let him hang up there.
So they're gonna go straight to the front. So Mexico's going to be able to start this game driving the ball into the Trinidad half with the forward play. We'll see what kind of adjustments they've made from the first half.
Good work from the Mexicans cleaning out the ruck.
And that's a line break from Falcone to their captain, Guerrero. He's driving his legs. Does he get the ball down? And yes,
and
it's going to be a try. So a good start from the center combination, Guerrero, Falcone to Guerrero, and the captain is going to score straight up the middle.
What a great start in the second half for Mexico.
So maybe that's one of those adjustments I was talking about. They started the game maybe trying to find the way to the outside, but Trinidad was strong in their drift defense. And there you go, Mexico starts the second half with a center-to-center combo straight up the middle with no fullback in the middle there to make the play, and it's going to be a try. If we can convert this, it'll be 13-10. Right now it's 13-8.
Yeah, it was just good work at the ruck. They cleaned it out, made the recycle nice and quick. Didn't spend too much time recycling it like they've done in the first half, and that made the difference. Kind of put Trinidad on the back foot a little bit.
So it looked like their fullback, Cadet, maybe got a little over anxious and drifted out to try to make that stop the winger if they decided to go wide, but instead Mexico goes straight up the gut, and Guerrero isn't able to be dragged down by fly-off Panther, and he drives his way into the try zone.
Por las familias en México que está viendo, México ha marcado un try, pero no pasa el pateando muy bien, pero por las familias en México que está viendo, México ha marcado un try, pero No pasa el pateando muy bien, perro.
Side, like he wants to go up for this ball, as we've seen him do twice in the first few minutes of this half.
There we go, that's the plan every time. And then at least there he's there for the tackle. Good pressure. Didn't manage to hold on to him. Good work from the Mexican forwards.
And that's number 17, Fernando Gutierrez Luna, able to charge it up.
Good height to that kick. And this is where Trinidad are dangerous. They got a bit of space.
Counter-attack. The winger, Corey Edwards, has a good run on the outside. And
Knock on there.
That's going to give time for Frazier to be attended to by the trainer. The captain is over here on our near sideline, ailing. We hope he's okay. He's been a star so far in this tournament. He's grabbing his shoulder.
Yeah, he doesn't look like one that's going to stay down for long. If he stays down, it's because he's genuinely hurt.
We talked to the coaches in the pregame interview, and they said that he had some bruised ribs, a few ailing injuries, but he was able to just fix those right up before the game and come out here. His toughness. He's going to get assisted by the trainer here, maybe find his way back into the scrum. The ref's going to take a pause and let him get fixed up.
Scores 13-8, ladies and gentlemen. Mexico have brought themselves straight back into this game. A good start to the second half for them, because the game could have run away from them pretty easily. I know there's a big Trinidad and Tobago community of rugby watching this, so a big shout out to the Harvards, the Caribs, the Northerns, Rainbows, Riders and the Royalians. Big rugby community in Trinidad. Thank you for tuning in and watching the game, watching your boys play very well against Mexico today in Vizcaya Park, Miramar, at the Rugby Americas North tournament under 19s.
And we said this game was going to be the game of the tournament before the game started. We've been right so far. It's been strong defensive showing from both sides, and long, exciting try runs from either squad.
See what Mexico's got up their sleeve. Their backs look very relaxed. Not trying to give anything away.
And the scrum is won by Trinidad. So Panther's going to take it himself with a quick hitch step.
Nice offload from the ground. Drop goal.
Drop goal.
And why
it's
not?
Good. We saw him do that last year. After the long run, he tried to attempt a drop goal, and he does just there.
Winner, chicken dinner. Why not?
That's Jerome Panther, the vice captain for Trinidad. He has one try in this game, and he hits a drop goal, which we don't see very often at this level rugby. But he made it look easy there.
So just as Mexico felt like they were getting back into the game, another 3 points for Trinidad. And that's the kind of thing that gets players' heads down. Psychologically, that hurts.
Yeah, the game was one try away, and now it's 8 points. So Mexico's got a 2-position lead to overcome. There's about 28 minutes left in the second half. They got plenty of time.
Plenty of coverage back there for Mexico, but none of them managed to pick it up, and it's all the way back to their own 22.
And the coverage by Trinidad was just as excellent. The centers and wings came all the way down the field in coverage.
They've let that play on. It didn't go backwards. Sorry, it didn't go forwards.
Penalty to Trinidad. So a back and forth kicking competition ends in a penalty for Trinidad to relieve a little pressure here. And that ball from Panther finds touch. It'll be a Trinidad line out from about the 40-yard line. Trinidad on the attack with an 8-point lead.
One of the things I noticed about Trinidad, there's constant communication. If they're losing the game, they're winning the game, there's points against them, points for them, they're constantly talking to each other, constantly motivating each other, and then figuring out what their next game plan is, their next movement.
So the maul gets backed up by Mexico.
And that looked good, eh?
Yeah, inside
Now they've got
ball,
some
they're going
width
to have
here
advantage.
too.
Man advantage on the outside. That's going to be a knock-on after a
Truly
long
a knock-on.
run from Panther. He decides to take it himself and gets pulled down and knocks it on.
Just twisted his hips inside instead of out. And that allows the Mexican guys to take him around.
So that's the first time we've seen Trinidad go get their inside center, the ball, and then go back to the inside for the wing coming on a crash line. That was Corey Edwards with the long run. But the Panther knock-on stunts the drive. That was Marquise Samuel, the inside center. That's the first real action we've seen from him so far as he puts his winger away for a nice run.
And that's the stuff I'm talking about. When they've got some downtime, let's use that downtime to get motivated again. That makes a big difference in a team, I think. Switches everybody back on and puts them in the right frame of mind to play again.
I expect a little bit of relief kick from the fly half from Mexico, Santiago Guadarrama Maya. It's going to be a penalty, so Santiago's going to have a little bit of an easier job here clearing this kick. And that ball's going to stay in. The back three run into each other there. Emmanuel Cadet has a nice space in front of him. Let's see what he can do.
Kind of hacked that a little bit. It went straight out, but I can see what he was trying to do. Just got a bit overexcited.
So the scripts kind of switched from the first half. Trinidad's been camped down here in the Mexico half so far in the second half. Mexico's kind of been starved of ball in the second half. The Stores.
Let's give a big shout out to the cloud coverage, though.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, we like
Today was
that.
our hottest day, and then the clouds blow over. We've cooled down significantly.
Making everyone's life a little bit nicer.
So line out is won by Mexico, but it's going to be knocked on. Scrum to Trinidad inside the Mexican half. Scrum half Hassan is going to try to get this ball out to Panther, the decision maker for this Trinidad side.
The support arrives nice and quick for Trinidad.
A drop goal attempt again is going to be short.
Wasn't far away though. And that
Iffy
kick
boot.
is going to cause problems for Mexico. That's putting them under pressure right there.
That was the hooker for Trinidad, Kyle Lukong. And Trinidad's going to be able to take a shot at post here with a penalty offsides against Mexico.
Yeah, Trinidad just want to keep racking up the points at the moment. Just want to keep tapping threes over whenever they get the chance, whether it's penalties or drop kicks. They just want to kill off the Mexican spirit at the moment, and they're being quite successful at it.
It also takes time off the clock. Having these penalty shots at posts kind of slows the game down.
The Trinidad Nines screaming out, "I'm hungry, I'm hungry." I'm presuming that's for the win, not for food. I'm sure the guys are feeding him very well. He's a little skinny though, we never know.
Yeah.
could be a new training regime where they don't feed the kids. I don't know.
That's Ayub Hassan. This is at least his second year here in tournament, as I played against him last year here in Miami. That's a beautiful kick.
Another 3 for Trinidad. That takes it to 19-8. Trinidad beginning to dominate this game again.
11-point lead, 22 minutes to go.
They got a little bit of a shock in the beginning of the second half. Mexico went and scored. But Trinidad have just strangling the Mexico team a little bit now. Racking up the 3s.
That's going to go to number 5 for Trinidad. Geddes Phillip. Lock.
Took a lot of people to bring him down. Big lad, that needs to be chopped away.
A nice not releasing penalty. That was the poach from number 4 for Mexico, Jose Manuel Matuzlada.
There's 21 minutes to go. Mexico are going to elect for 3 points. This is only, if he gets this, it's only going to take him to 19-11. It means he's still got a lot of work. With only 20 minutes left, I don't know if this is the best option.
They decided to go for the kick for touch and a tap and go earlier when they could have gone for 3. So maybe they're getting a little bit more conservative in their game plan. Maybe that was one of the halftime adjustments we talked about. Mexico likes to take. A nice kick. We've seen a good kicking from both fly halves, Panther and Maya, so far this game. In this tournament, for that matter.
So the Trinidad using the same game plan again. They're going to hit the high ball just between the 10 and the 22. There it is.
Here goes up as Frazier. The lock for Mexico. Luna is able to snag that one out the air.
Nice inside step.
That's a fast lock there.
Managed to hold him up a little.
And a nice strip. It's going to be an advantage to Trinidad.
Great work at the ruck from the Trinidad. And there it goes. That's once there's 2 or 3 hands on the ball from Trinidad, it gets out wide, they make yards.
Hassan to Panther. Back into their 7.
And a great counter up from Mexico. And they've got a bit of space over this side now.
He had a couple men outside of him, Mexico did, and he ended up cutting back, holding on to that ball. That's going to go, it's going to stay in and roll out, so a great kick from the fly half.
Found a good little bit of space there. He noticed the winger had crept up. Winger got caught out. No way he was going to turn around and get back to that.
Got it.
So strong tactical kick there from Maya. He's been excellent this tournament, putting the ball exactly where he wants it. It looked like it was about to go straight out. It nicely rolls in and then out. Line out to Trinidad inside their own 40.
Referee having a word with the captains. Something she's not too happy about. Not sure what happened.
It's been a real back and forth game so far. Without those 2 long tries from Trinidad. This game's 11-10. We're looking at a different story, but Trinidad's able to score just like that, 2 70-yard runs, putting Mexico in a hole. Here comes a maul from Trinidad. We've seen them do this pretty well, but Mexico was able to stop them last time as that big, strong 8-man gets in there. That kick goes deep and over the head of number 23, a replacement fullback. And the coverage team's down there to make the tackle. So the assistant referee calls him out of bounds, calls Trinidad out of bounds there. Mexico makes a substitution, subbing in number 20, Guillermo Villalpando, onto the wing for the number 14, Rafael Martinez de Escobar. This is going to be one of those mandated water breaks we have here in Miami as the heat gets climbing up there.
It's a long way over. So sort of every 15 to 20 minutes, halfway through a half, we'll do these water breaks, just because the temperature is generally in the 90s in South Florida this time of the year. If we're lucky, it's 89. Can get up to about 3,000 degrees occasionally.
So there's about 17 minutes to go here at the Vizcaya Park. It's a tight game, 8-point game. Trinidad leads Mexico. The winner will advance to the Cup final, playing USA South's A side on Saturday.
All right, we're right back out there. Mexico line out.
Be sure to stay tuned to our next game. We have USA South's second side playing Turks and Caicos.
Good work from the Mexican jumper. He took 2 or 3 bobbles to bring that down, but they got themselves a maul on. Trinidad coming in from the side of that maul by the looks of it.
Yeah, Trinidad just came in from the side, giving penalty to Mexico. We'll see what Santiago Maya is able to do with this boot. And he does find touch. Mexico ball attacking with the line out at about the 35-meter line.
And they're taking it relatively quickly too. Trinidad weren't even ready that time. Nice little pass. Another one. 8-man crash ball. If they can do a quick recycle here, they might be able to make some yards. Nice out the back pass. And we're still working down towards the edge. Slowing it down, giving Trinidad a bit of time to reorganize themselves.
That's Luna on a big pounding run. That's Franco Andres Guerrero, the captain. He had a try early in the second half.
And he has a very nice secondary drive too.
Mexico looks strong here on the attack. That's the prop, number 3, Martinez.
He's gone short side. Scrum half's got himself dragged out. Hey, credit where credit is due. Trinidad and Tobago covered 3 complete widths of the field.
Back and forth, yeah, they're
not sure of the phases, maybe at least 10 phases, but there was 3 complete widths of the field.
Their drift defense was excellent there, able to take that scrum half out of bounds.
And again, the winger coming in to commit to the outside centre and allowing his inside and outside centre to come around the side to take that cover tackle if the forced pass comes, which when it does, it usually goes to ground. So it's obviously something they've been taught to do. Again, I haven't seen this at this level of rugby. I see it at a higher level first division in Europe, Southern Hemisphere, but not at under 19s international tier 3. It's unusual to see.
That's the best attack we've seen from Mexico. They've been clinical in the past few years with their ability to attack in the forwards in different positions and setting their pods up at different spots.
There's a lot of work going in. These guys, both sets of teams, are really working hard.
Balls
Nice
stay
kick.
in and just roll out.
He wants to go for the quick line out. It's not on.
So Panther clears a little bit of pressure here.
A few Trinidad boys down. They look like they're in pain. Maybe bumped heads or something. Mexico playing with a very clear game plan now.
So that's Franco Andres Guerrero, the captain for Mexico, circling his team around. He's grabbing that patch on his chest.
Very passionate group of lads, and he's telling them, we've only got 13 minutes left. This is our moment, let's get it done. That's my official translation. There's a few beaten bodies out there. A lot of these guys, they look like they're smiling. That's not a smile, that's a grimace. The teeth are showing, not because they're happy. These guys are going through the pain barrier, I believe. This game's going to go down the wire, I think.
It'll be a Mexico line out from about the 35-meter line.
4-channel ball on a line out. Flyhart's gone inside on his own. Goes to his captain.
It's good vision from the scrum half for Mexico. He sees Mexico has a man advantage on the outside and he attacks it. I've been really impressed with the play from the number 17, Fernando Gutierrez Luna. He's been a substitute lock for Mexico, and he's had some strong runs so far.
Yeah, he has no problem hitting the biggest guy on the park. He's done it a couple of
That's
times.
going to be a penalty. Oh, they're going to go quick. I would have expected them to slow it down and take the points at the kick for post, but they're going to go quick. We'll see if Mexico can punch it in here.
Yeah, Trinidad did well. They have a lot of coverage there. There's a lot of width. They've got an overload. The 8-man wants to go on his own, though.
And
Sorry.
Wrapped up and brought down. A kick for post there would have put the game at just 5 points instead of this 2-possession game. So Mexico might have made a decision-making error, but that was the captain that elected to go with the quick tap. High tackle. This is on the outside. This might go to card here as the referee's stopping the
I think
game.
she's reaching for a pocket. Yeah, they grabbed hold of the back of his collar.
This is going to be a card.
This could be a key part of the game for Mexico. Trinidad are 19-11 up, but now they've got 10 minutes in the sin bin.
That's number 5 for Trinidad going off. Geddes Phillip. He's going to be out for 10 minutes. And with Mexico down by only 8, that might be a devastating tackling error.
How much of a difference will that one play
Offside
make?
advantage to Mexico. So there will be a penalty.
They've knocked the ball on, so they get the penalty.
So a penalty right under the post. Are they going to go quick again? Yes. They're not really stopping and setting up a penalty play. They just keep going quick.
He's going to get held up. Ball's out the back of the ruck again. Pick and go.
That's a try.
And Mexico are absolutely back in this game. Vamos, México, estamos en el juego de nuevo.
So a try from the big 8-man, Esteban Santiago Viñas Caballero. He's been a thunderous runner this game, and now he has a try right under the post. So if Santiago Maya can make this kick, it'll be a 1-point game with 10 minutes to go.
What a phenomenal turnaround for Mexico. And it's in a really good position here to be a successful kick. I don't want to hex him.
We have not been disappointed so far. We predicted this game to be the game of the tournament, and Mexico has come back from down 11 points. This is eerily similar to last year's semifinal between Trinidad and USA South, as Trinidad had an early 12-point lead and blew that in the second half. So maybe that memory is creeping into the heads of the Trinidad players. But with 10 minutes to go, you see Mexico down by only 1.
And Mexico are absolutely back in this game at 19-18 with just 10 minutes left. I said it would go down to the wire.
So that's Malik Frazier, the captain from Trinidad. He shouts motivation check, 1 team, 1 dream. Got his team fired up and ready to go, and he looks like he's going to go up and take this ball. And an errant knock on.
Every time Trinidad has kicked to this side, it's landed within a square of maybe 3 foot. It's almost landed in the exact same spot every single time. Just in the right spot for them to catch it, but they know they're going to get hit the minute they catch it. They were kicking it a little bit shorter, maybe 2 yards shorter earlier in the game, and Frazier was actually catching it himself.
So we're going to see what kind of will Trinidad has here. Last year they lost in the semifinal, blowing a 12-point lead, and this year they're back in that same situation, up by only 1. So with 8 minutes left in this game, we're going to see if Trinidad can hang on and advance themselves to the Cup final.
Trinidad put in, losing the footing though. They managed to hook it well and switched inside outside. Good yards from forward. Another quick recycle. Drop ball, knock on, Mexico's got it back. Cleaning out the ruck too.
I was impressed by Mexico's defensive structure there.
And a kick to clear.
That ball's not going to get out. It's going to be Emmanuel Cadet receiving that ball.
And he's just going to outrun them by the looks of it. It's going to come around. He's isolated
Mexico
here.
might get the post.
Mexico have got it.
So Trinidad is down a man and up by only 1 point. And now Emmanuel Cadet goes down. So Trinidad will be playing defense with 13 players right here. If Cadet isn't able to get up on our near sideline.
Mexico keep running into brick walls and then getting up and trying again. Trinidad under a lot of pressure in the last few minutes, and Mexico are playing phenomenally well.
So Mexico's going to have a line out at about the Trinidad 7-meter line, down by 1 point with 7 minutes to go. Trinidad's playing with only 13 players as fullback Cadet is down on the field, and Trinidad has a yellow card player in the sin bin.
Mexico's captain, Guerrero, looks absolutely dead on his feet.
Yeah, you can see that from a lot of the Mexico players, hands on knees, hands on hips. They want this win, so we'll see if they can will it out.
Mexico have won that line out. They've got clean ball.
Forward pass. against
Unlucky.
Mexico. 6
Unlucky.
minutes to go. Trinidad up by 1. Down a man in the sin bin. This has been awesome.
Easily the best game of the tournament so far. For any of you out there, the neutrals that are watching this, this is what rugby's all about. End-to-end stuff, fast-paced, big hits.
So with a man down, Mexico is going to pull their 8-man out of the scrum and into the backs as Trinidad is down a man in the scrum as well.
Going to look to regain possession off a Trinidad kick, I would presume, and see what they can do with it. I presume it
nice-
will run at it, but
nice
a great kick. Great kick from Panther.
All the way down. And the flag looked like it went up for a second. It stays down. So the return kick is going to go right back to the kicker, Panther, the fly half. And he's going to put a boot under again. A nice hit on the 8-man is Panther. And it's going to go out of bounds. So a back and forth kicking competition from both sides. Panther's going to get the win on that one.
So let's just talk about that kick. He was behind his own try line. That landed pretty much, it finished about a yard shy of the 22.
So that's about a,
That's
what,
a
a
70-yard kick,
Yeah.
75-yard kick.
Don't check our math, but wow.
Yeah. And then he managed to get the ball in hand again, chip it over and tackle the guy that caught it.
So Cadet was down a second ago. He's going to sling the ball at one of the small brothers. He's got a line break and a man on the outside, but he's not able to get it to him.
Mexico managed to grab that ball again and in possession on the halfway line.
These guys are absolutely gassed, flying around the park. This has been frantic play for the last 10 minutes of this game. There's only 4 minutes to go. Trinidad up by 1, Mexico with ball in hand.
And now they've got some space out there. There's cover coming.
And he's brought down at the 2-yard line.
I feel like there
Will
was
it
a
be a
knock on
try?
there.
They're gonna talk to the assistant referee. This is gonna be a big call here from the referee.
I think it looked like a pop-up pass, but as he popped it up, the Mexican support maybe knocked it forward, and then he caught it once it hit the ground.
They're
No,
gonna
give it a
call
try. I'm absolutely wrong.
So there's players down all over the park for Trinidad. They've got 3 minutes to go, and they're going to be down by 4. An excellent comeback. You can hear the USA South A-side players cheering on the Trinidad players to get up. Get up. They want to see Trinidad in the next game, not this Mexican squad they saw last year and were able to beat last year. But Trinidad has 4 to 5 players just sitting around on the ground, laboring with injuries.
It's gone from their own try line to Mexico's 22. It's come to the other side of the park at the halfway line. They've lost the ball several times. Then they find themselves back on the opposite corner, 5 yards, and then Mexico, a debatable try, but a try as it stands. Simple as that.
This is almost deja vu to last year's semifinal. You know, Trinidad was up by 12 with about 15 minutes to go, and they blew a lead. So with 2 minutes left and down by 4, Trinidad has given up 15 points. So we'll see with that sin bin coming back in, Trinidad will be back at full strength. With 2 minutes to go, I expect Frazier, the captain for Trinidad, to go up for this ball and hopefully give his team a chance to regain this lead.
There's just a couple of minutes left. The score's 23-19 to Mexico. Trinidad looked like they were in control for the middle third, at least the middle third of the game.
They need to get set up quickly here. Got about 1.5 to 2 minutes to go in this game. I expect Frazier to go up for this ball on the kickoff, as it's been in his area time after time in the same spot.
Gonna have to go make something happen.
And there it is again. And Isaac Small is there to make the hit, one of the Small brothers. So Mexico's going to try to stall this game out with the forward play and a huge hit.
McFarland absolutely destroyed the Mexican attack. And again, he's involved in that next tackle. Big substitute prop forward.
And a kick. So Trinidad's going to get the ball.
It's gone backwards. He'll be able to pick it up. He's got a few bit in support. Hitch kick from Panther. Nice little offload. It's still alive. It's gone to ground.
Knock on. So there's going to have 30 seconds left, and Mexico is going to get the scrum. Trinidad needs to win this scrum if they have any chance to win this game. But Mexico looks like they have all the momentum. Winner of this game will advance to the final and play USA South's A side, who looks like the class of this tournament. Stay tuned to our next game as USA South's second side takes on Turks and Caicos. Looking at a 6 p.m. kickoff. So our clock says 0. It's going to be a free kick to Trinidad on a not straight drive from Mexico.
Why doesn't the referee give us a little bit more drama and give the ball to Trinidad?
Yep, down by 4. Trinidad this is their last opportunity.
I don't know. They haven't got time to kick it out. They're going to have to play and hopefully get over that try line. That's their only
Fly
option.
half for Trinidad. Jaron Panther says one try away. Doesn't matter where they score it. They just need one try. A nice run by the substitute David Harvey, backup hooker for Trinidad. We've seen a lot of depth out of both these squads. That's Isaiah Small loses the ball a little bit to his brother Isaac Small. Trinidad has the ball inside the 22, down by a try. It's up to these players on the field to win the game for Trinidad if they've got any opportunity to advance to the Cup final.
Got another pod set, but they've gone outside it. And Mexico's recovered the ball.
That's Falcone, the inside center, gets the ball. Mexico
And that ball is
kicks
getting
it.
kicked out any way they can.
It stays in. A knock on against Mexico. It'll be Trinidad ball, and they call the game over. Mexico's moving on to the Cup finals.
What a game of rugby, ladies and gentlemen.
That's what you like to see out here in the international tournaments. The game comes down to the very end.
And Trinidad are dead on their feet.
Players on their knees all over the park in defeat. They got heads hung as Mexico celebrates their victory.
Got a feel for Trinidad and Tobago. This is the second year in a row that this has happened to them. They've fallen apart in the second half of a semi-final, this time to Mexico.
So Saturday will be our Cup final in the men's division. USA South will play Mexico for a repeat of the last 3 years. In 2015, it was Mexico winning it all 24-0. In 2016, USA South won 24-10, and now a rematch, USA South versus Mexico in the final on Saturday.
Ok, aquí tengo el señor joven guerrero, el capitán de México. ¿Cómo sientes?
Bastante cansado, pero con una satisfacción enorme de habernos llevado el partido. Creo que fue un partido muy duro, un partido con un sol impresionante. La temperatura no ayudó en nada, pero tuvimos la suerte de despertar en el segundo tiempo, de hacer nuestro juego, de empezar a controlar el balón y llevarnos el partido, que era lo que veníamos a buscar, y lo logramos. Costó duro, pero estamos en la final.
¿Y cuándo en el partido giró todo? ¿Cuándo era? ¿Un momento o era poco a poco? ¿Cómo tú veo ese momento?
Creo que ellos están más acostumbrados a jugar con este clima, entonces al principio se notó mucho, pero creo que a partir del segundo tiempo nosotros dijimos, no nos importa nada más, nuestro físico lo vale verga y vamos a dar todo dentro de la cancha. Creo que a partir del segundo tiempo fue cuando cambió el rumbo del partido. Ellos empezaron a cansar más, nosotros tuvimos un poquito más de resto físico y nos pudimos llevar el partido.
Muchísimas gracias.
Muchas gracias.
Buena suerte en el final.
Muchas gracias.
Y me voy a traducir para el resto del mundo. Gracias.
Muchas gracias a todos.
So that was the captain Guerrero of the 13 for Mexico. A fantastic game. He basically said that the turning point of the game was just into the second half. A phenomenal game of rugby for everybody that's watching as a neutral. It was phenomenal, and I'm sure as a Mexican back home, it was a phenomenal game as well. Thanks very much. We're coming up in a few minutes. We've got another game, USA South second team against Turks and Caicos. We'll see you in a few minutes.